Oh, hey, what's up, you bone jobs? Hey, what's up, you barfs out there? It's me, and I'm here to let you know
the beginning of the rise of the Antichrist.
It's coming, so I hope you're prepared to get right with the Lord, okay? So this video has been going around, and it's a great combination. It's a combination of both horrifying and adorable, or as I call it, adorifying.
Have an unbelievably awesome life. You're going to make a huge difference in the world, and you can make the world a better place.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. And what's that thing on your head?
Oh, good question. Okay, so this is a yarmulke. Jews and Christians believe in the same God.
You know, we make fun of this guy Ben Shapiro all the time, but you have to hand it to people who just they barf out, they dump out enough content. An adorable moment happens. Like this little kid, he's been waiting to say this the whole time. What's that on your head? Let's hand it to Ben. He handles it masterfully. Oh, very good question. Very sweet. I love that. And nothing else to see here. Everything else in this video is totally normal.
Do you think China purposefully caused a pandemic?
I think that China purposefully covered up a pandemic. It probably started in a laboratory in China, and then it got released, and then they pretended that it was not their fault, and they didn't know what was going on, and they lied a lot, and then it got out and killed a lot of people.
Mr. Shapiro, do you think we need to focus less on domestic issues and move more toward a Cold War?
Do you think China purposefully caused a pandemic?
Nothing weird about making a kid ask that for a video, and then Ben Shapiro's reaction. Mr. Shapiro, do you think the Chinese created a bioweapon? And Ben Shapiro, So in this video, it sounds like this is shot in Florida. Ben Shapiro used to live and shoot Daily Wire stuff in Los Angeles, where they might be a little bit more hesitant. There might be a little bit more rules against just shoving kids into your right-wing propaganda. But in Florida, they're like, we're counting all the deaths. We're counting all the COVID deaths. You can't prove it. No, I was just asking if we could do a propaganda segment with your children. Yeah, sure. I mean, just think in editing terms for a second here. What is this supposed to tell us? These series of cuts.
Purposefully caused a pandemic.
I think
that cut right there, that little bit of video that is meant to tell you, the viewer, totally normal. Totally no. Look at seems weird, right? But look, Ben's laughing. So no, it's normal. It's normal. Making a kid say that on camera. Very funny and normal. These are the cutest kids, I think, maybe on the planet. Here we go.
Wow. You're very well-behaved children. All right, so I'm supposed to teach you about things today. So get ready.
Yay?
Yay?
I've seen my mom look at him on Facebook. She said he was a very smart guy.
Do you think he is?
Well, now that I've met him, maybe.
Freedom.
Exactly right. Maybe the parenting roles need to be reversed in that kid's household. My mom went down a YouTube rabbit hole from ads. My mom's scary.
Unfortunately, Joe Biden, yeah, I know.
Trump, he is the best. He was better. Don't insult the president because he will come and attack you.
Whoa!
Hey now. Yeah, he's way off base about that.
But some people on YouTube are framing this thing as like, Ben Shapiro makes a fool of himself in front of these kids, and they school him. I mean, this video is way weirder, because it turns out, you get about 5 minutes into this thing, it's an ad.
So one of the questions that I frequently get asked is, how do I talk to my own children about conservative values and the things that matter? And my answer is Conservakids. Conservakids brings you books like Home of the Brave, for example, in which they discuss things like American values and American history. They're beautifully illustrated, they're really well written, and they have values that you can feel comfortable sharing with your children, which is the most important thing. There's so many forces out there that are seeking to twist what kids think. There's so many people out there who want your kids to believe things that they really shouldn't believe, who want to take control of your child's education away from you.
That's the thing with this guy, that these are just my strong beliefs. However, I gotta peddle crap constantly, squeeze every dime out of this channel that I got all my viewers from ads with. That's what we do. This is beautiful. This is from last year. Here we go.
If you believe that the radical left isn't after your children, you're ignoring the fact that they very, very clearly are after your children. So Nickelodeon actually broadcast, I'm not kidding you, a video from a drag queen named Nina West.
What?
And forgive my unfamiliarity, this is not a world in which I generally traffic. The drag queen Nina West performed an original song about the meaning of the rainbow pride flag for small children. Because again, Nickelodeon is directed at small children. It is not directed at teens. It is not directed at adults. It is directed at small children. And so we are going to now indoctrinate children into the wonders of various sexual orientations and the complete moral relativity of human sexuality. And we're going to do this to like 4 and 5-year-olds.
I may just
because confusing children is what people are in the business of doing.
It's watching this guy's videos. It's always like, I don't know whether to be shocked or just these videos are hilarious. Like it's a very confusing thing because he says, he's like, the radical left is coming for your children. And then months later, he does a thing in person at a grade school with kids that look like they're about 6, 7, where he's like, hey kids, the Chinese covered up a virus leak from one of their laboratories. Now, I know I have no evidence for this.
And here's some rather inappropriate material for children appearing on Nickelodeon.
Doesn't it just fill you with pride? Showing who you are on the inside. Wave that pride flag up high. Be true to you. Happy Pride, everyone.
Party. Yeah. It fills you with pride, showing who you are on the inside.
It's baffling trying to make sense of this because it's like he's really worked up. This is in 2021, by the way. We're talking like what, 14, 15 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race being one of the most popular things on TV. And he's like, he's peeing it, he's staining those khakis over the fact that a drag queen is on TV. I think the market has spoken on that one, Mr. Free Market. And I watched this Nickelodeon ad that he's talking about, that he's pretending to be really pissed off about. It's just like, I mean, look. Some really smart person is what you get. I was just watching a Jacobon video, and they say that they're just doing that because of the identity politics. It's a cute little ad that should be on TV, of course. Drag queens and stuff have been part of American pop culture for at least since like the 70s, early 70s. Like Divine and all that stuff. We're still pretending to be pissed off about this. I mean, this is, even for this guy, who's like,
my whole thing is that I'm a young man, but I act like an old man.
even it's kind of just like, what are you mad about now, Ben?
This is woke indoctrination of small children on sexual matters. Don't tell me that isn't abuse of children. It is mass abuse of children.
Do you think China purposefully caused a pandemic?
If somebody came into your house and started doing this to your child without your consent, you would immediately call the cops.
Yeah, no, he's right. If people from the TV just walked into my house and started talking to my kids, yeah, it would be confusing, for sure, and probably a crime just to walk in without asking me. If a sponge and his friend, a starfish or a squid, whatever, if they came from the TV and walked into my house too, I would also call the cops. What kind of dumbass argument is that? Well, if the person from the TV was in your house, you wouldn't like that. No, yeah, that's a good point. I have no problem with that being on the TV, but yeah, in general, I don't like strangers in my house without my permission. What are you talking about? You whack job, you? So this is the dumbass crap that he's peddling. It's called Conservakids. Conservakids rolls right off the tongue. Morons. Kidservatives. Kidservatives, stupids. And if you change it, I'm going to need some of that. Conservakids. Kidservatives didn't cross your stupid, Anyway. American values are under... I mean, these books are targeted toward, like, little kids. 7-year-olds. Like the kid who's like, what's that on your head? Why take that off? that kid, that little anti-Semitic kid. I'm just kidding. He's a cute kid. So these books are directed towards 7, 6-year-olds, whatever. American values are under attack. Today's culture is actively trying to diminish the value of freedom, courage, and hard work by inundating our children with messages that undermine those principles. Some goofball, I don't know if you remember this is from late last year, this goofball Matt Krause, this idiot Congress guy from Texas, came up with a list of 800, this is what he did, this guy spent taxpayer dollars to do this, came up with a list of 850 books that he's like, if you have these, I need to know if you have these in your libraries and how many. Good use of time by that guy. Great use of time. Wow. What a meaningful contribution there. So you might think like, oh, this is just a bunch of kind of suburban whack jobs kind of losing their mind and they're like, we're going to ban books. That's how we're going to spend our time. Bunch of serial moms out there doing this. But not quite the case. Groups purporting to be grassroots efforts have frequently led the charge, petitioning school boards or elected officials to remove certain books. Though some of these organizations present themselves as a local effort that sprang up around groups of parents united behind a cause, many of the groups involved in book banning are in fact linked and backed by influential conservative donors. Let's get these people whipped up about this. Let's get these people whipped up about this crap. It's funny because if you look at the books that they're trying to ban on that 850 books list, it's sort of like, whoa, boy. Uh-oh. I mean, gender equality is one of them. LGBT families. An Indigenous Peoples History of the United States for young people. There's one that's just like Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk. And then there's another one. It's called A is for Activist. So we want all these books out of here. And we want Ben Shapiro's, whatever crap he's peddling. Some book called You're Lucky to Have a Job by Ben Shapiro's advertiser. And it's the drag queen is indoctrinating the kids. You shitheads, you. I would say this is at least on the same lunatic level. Amazon paid for a high school course. Here's what it teaches. Brainstorm ways you could motivate your employers other than large bonuses and high salaries. So Amazon is just straight up like buying its way into schools now. Amazon donated $50,000 to provide the necessary materials and start the program. Yikes.
Subprime mortgages were subsidized by the federal government. The subprime mortgage industry arose because the federal government essentially said they were going to backstop a bunch of mortgages they knew were going to go broke. And then they were hoping that the market just kept increasing so that people could sell off their houses if they did go broke. The subprime mortgage crisis was created by government policy designed to make sure that people who could not pay their mortgages got mortgages. This was the explicit goal of the subprime mortgage market. And then the market started playing with those and packaging those subprime mortgages with other mortgages and mixing in toxic assets with non-toxic assets and creating all sorts of derivative arrangements. And those derivative arrangements then had infectious effects throughout the economy in 2007, 2008. But the key problem with subprime is that there were a bunch of people who could not afford houses who were being granted subprime mortgages on the basis of zero or no credit history because the federal government was subsidizing that.
So my man goes off here and he goes off on this thing about the 2008 financial crisis. Okay, I know I can already feel people doing that for this, right? Long story short, what he just said there is so insane. It might be, of all the insane things that this goofball says, that one might be, it's very high up there. So basically what he's saying is this giant meltdown in the economy in 2008 happened because of the government. Because the government forced them to do these. If you guys don't remember this, what happened during this major event in American history was basically the banks. These banks were running this scam where they would give everybody a home loan and then they would immediately sell that. They would package it, all these loans up, and then sell them to investors, okay? And one of the major things that came out about this, if you remember this, it turned out that they were scamming the ratings agencies. So how would you know that these packaged, loans that you're about to invest in. How would you know that this is not garbage? That the banks didn't just give it to a bunch of people who don't have the money to pay back these loans? Ratings agencies. So where does this the ratings agency scam, as one example, where does this factor into Ben's assessment of this? He's like, the government was too much involved. Okay, so what about the ratings agency scam thing? Well, also, another huge problemo to this, to his absolutely insane, nonsensical story, that even at the time when this happened, everybody was like, oh my God, the United States is over. It's over. The economy's over. We got to move to Portugal, maybe, because I think you can do drugs there or something. Even like right-wingers at the time were like, oh boy, we have to do things different. But another interesting problem for Ben Shapiro's little thing here is that the government was too much involved. That's what caused the 2008 meltdown of the economy. The financial industry, which caused these problems, they spent billions of dollars lobbying the government to deregulate them. Not over-regulate, like he said, deregulate. They spent how much? I have it here. $3.4 billion in lobbying to get rid of these regulations.
No. Bed made of money.
I mean, we could go on and on because it is an interesting topic and there's lots on this, but I mean, really, it's like the ramblings, not even of a madman, but of like a drunk driver who keeps getting in like horrible crashes. And he's like, it's not the drinking that's the problem. It's of the fact that you are yelling at me about the drinking. So, cool, they let him around children. That's fine. Good job. They're like little homeless people. Kids, many say. Not me. They're like little homeless people. They also have a heightened sense, because they're stupid, but their instincts maybe are better. And they can spot a clown. And they're like, oh, this guy's kind of full of crap. Thanks so much for watching. Always fun to check in with this weird guy. How many? 250,000. Yeah, no problem. I get like close to 250,000 every time I upload. Because what I give is sound information that makes sense. Also, children should hear it in person for my ad that I'm doing.
It isn't.
Good for Ben. He's having a fun time in Florida. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye. Hey, guys. You're only getting a fraction of the weekly shows. If you want a new motherfucking episode every day, subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. You get the patron-only Tuesday and Thursday shows, the Bookablega show where we look at important books, and the goddamn weekly behind-the-scenes show. And for only 25 bones, you could become a producer and get your name up here. Look at these people. These people make this show possible. If it wasn't for them, nothing. We don't have a show. We got nothing, and it's garbage. And we have to just leave. We have to just basically walk away. And we don't even really know where we're walking. That's the truly troubling part about all this. But please, become a patron today for as little as 2 bones, or 5 bones is another level, or 10, or you go the full 25 and you get up here. Big special thanks to these people. Love you guys. Love you guys so much.